and my goal in putting baggies together was to give somebody all of them. And the only thing that I wonder about sometimes is all the little tiny minerals. I read a book by Joel Wallach, Dr. Wallach, called Dead Doctors Don't Lie, and he said, geez, we don't need 5 or 10 minerals, we need dozens of minerals, and these little tiny amounts are essential to life and to optimal health. And I always wonder in the baggie, could I improve it by somehow getting a supplement that contained all the itty bitty minerals, that a human being may need, and that are not in the multivitamin, multimineral. So this is the end of the odds and ends section of the supplements that are actually in Willy's baggie, and it really completes the baggie raw materials all together. I'd like to, at the end of this, talk just a little bit about probiotics, which are just so key to health. Okay. I have 2 different brands of probiotics here, Culturelle, and I've got a Probiotics 12 Plus. These were recently ordered from iHerb. I don't have hardly any experience using them. I couldn't really comment on them with any justification versus other probiotics I've used in the past, or my son has used in the past. But I didn't have what we actually do use to show you in a show and tell fashion here. Probiotics problems underlie ADHD, bipolar, depression, perhaps schizophrenia, autism, the entire range of psychiatric symptoms. You've got probiotics problems. You're low in the good bugs and you're high in the bad stuff, and it needs to be corrected. And there's no way I can cover that in a video here. I'll have to do another video all on its own on probiotics and probiotic correction of the bad stuff in your gut and getting the good stuff in. But I just wanted to mention that regardless of whether you take baggies or not, whether you're supplementing or not, you really need to look at probiotic supplementation and learning about things like a die-off reaction if you took too much of a probiotic and it ran into the bad bugs and they killed each other and you ended up sick temporarily. You need to learn about those kind of issues. And dosing up slowly with probiotics is always wise. With Willy, I got away with murder in probiotic correction. Through the years, I used a number of probiotics prior to 2004. The one that was most corrective, that tended to kill the yeast and the bad stuff, and was a good fighter against all the bad stuff in the body, so it would win the war and take over and establish itself, was a probiotic called Primal Defense. And that's made by Garden of Life, Jordan Rubin's company, which is, a pretty major player in the supplement market in the U.S. But unfortunately, he's got Primal Defense caplets, which are tablets, hard tablets, and he's got, and then he's got Primal Defense in powder in a jar, and he's got Primal Defense Ultra, which is capsules with powder in a capsule. He's got 3 different versions of this. And out of those 3 versions, I have used them all. The powder in a jar is very powerful stuff, and if you got yeast, you got to dose up real slow, or you're going to get a die-off reaction. And that would work. The Primal Defense Ultra in capsules and has powder. It's pricey stuff. It's expensive. $45 a bottle retail, and mid-30s maybe over the net. That's some great stuff. But when I got to the caplets, probiotics are supposed to be alive bugs. And the caplets have been through a tableting machine. They just didn't work, or worked hardly, nothing at all. What I told Willy in the beginning, and I gave him the best that I could afford, Primal Defense Ultra, I said, you can't take 5 of these at once. I want you to dose up slowly and get to 5. I want you to take 1 for 3 or 4 days, and then take 2. And if you feel a little sick, from moving up, you take some vitamin C. Take 3 or 4 grams of vitamin C. Take 5 grams if you're real sick. I've taken 15 grams of vitamin C at once when I'm, getting sick from taking probiotics and dosing up too quickly and getting a die-off reaction. And that's what he did. He dosed up with Primal Defense until he was getting a solid bowel movement a day instead of a bowel movement every 3 days to a week. And I told him I'd like to have him even see 2 bowel movements a day or 3, like Bernard Jensen taught us all years ago. And Willy did that and we used that for a good 6 months or so. We used that for a while. And then because of cost, and again, I'm not a rich man, I'm poor, I said, Willy, we're going to have to switch, and I'm going to give you an over-the-counter probiotic that and we've been using Kyolic, PB8, different things, non-refrigerated a lot of times. Some can be have to be refrigerated, and some don't. And I just told him, always dose up, make sure you're getting 1 bowel movement a day. If you lose that 1 healthy bowel movement a day, you're lacking good bugs, and you got to just dose up to where you get it back. And that's what he did, and it's really not the entire answer here on probiotics. Again, I would need to do a tape all on its own on that, if not 2 or 3. So, but I wanted to mention probiotics. I consider that the other half of Willy's Baggie, and I think everybody with any psych syndrome whatsoever has got to deal with or should learn about probiotics. I'd also like to say, that a lot of people are taking probiotics and are not getting the job done. They're taking 2 or 3 capsules of, or 1 capsule, whatever, of probiotics a day, but they've still got major problems in their gut from bad flora and things that are not resolved. And a lot of people are using probiotics unsuccessfully and don't even know it. So, they think they're fixing the problem, and it's not really fixed. So you want to educate yourself. There's a lot of books out there. So, but this is the end of what I can finish in the short time that I have. And again, these are the odds and ends that, that complete the last in regard to Willy's Baggie. Thank you very much for listening.